Shake, Rattle, and Troll, visiting with Chris Cantrell, our fisheries manager out of Arizona Game and Fish Region 6 office. Chris, we just had a fundraiser through NBA, nice holiday open tournament. I didn't personally do well at the tournament, but you know, it's Lake Pleasant in December. What did I expect? Had a nice $250 hamburger. It was awesome. Point being, guys, the midweek bass anglers raised over $900 for Chris' Reef Ball project. And Chris, give us an idea, how important are these reef balls to the habitat and the health and welfare of our lake and consequently our fish?
You know, I didn't come up with this analogy, but I got to use it. It fits perfect. I mean, if you told me to walk out in the parking lot and make a living out there with no shelter, no food, and I couldn't do it, you know, and that's what these fish are living with in Arizona. I mean, we've got 365 days of growing habitat in Arizona because of our wonderful weather, and yet our catch rates aren't where they need to be, like back east and in other areas, and I think a lot of it has to do with habitat. It doesn't matter, you know, what type of fish they are, the genetics or anything, it's all about habitat. Habitat is the biggest #1 limiting factor in Arizona right now. As these lakes come down at Pleasant and Bartlett, you can see those it's a bathtub out there. And so, I mean, what we've got to do is be able to give these long-term sustainable habitats out there for fish. Reef ball is a perfect structure to do that. It's a habitat that is thought to take over 500 years in salt water because these things are made of about 3/4 of a yard of concrete. They look like a half-sphere Swiss cheese type product with a big hole in the top, and it's just perfect shelter for fish, good structure, great place to drop shot in. We can add different techniques when we're building these things to create areas for forage fish and so forth, so we can really create an ecosystem around, you know, big bars and so forth that are out there in the lakes and really create really good habitat that's going to be there for long term. And once these lakes come down, they're not, you know, for all these people to go out there and go burn and recreate around and tow behind their trucks and everything else. So these habitats are going to be there for, you know, a long time once we place them. So I think this is a perfect structure for Arizona. I think it's got a lot of potential, and we're just getting to that production phase. And we're getting there with the tournaments helping us out, like midweek bass. I mean, that was phenomenal to go out there the other day and to be able to be given back that, you know, that money to the resources. You know, this is just a great step in the right direction.
Well, from a conservation standpoint, once a month or once every other month, I share a conference call with the Bass Federation Nation conservation directors, and really watching what you specifically are doing with these reef balls. And you know, we've got a lot of problems here in Arizona. We've got invasive species that, you know, maybe we can talk about another time. The quagga mussels and clean, drain, and dry protocol. It's getting to be a real big deal right now with the anglers. But you know, as I visit with the other the last conservation conference call we had 21 different states, and there wasn't one of the other states that have the lack of habitat that we do. And the big question is, how are you doing with the reef balls? So we've got them in Tempe Town Lakes. What are your plans for the next set of reef balls? What lake? So on and so forth.
Well, we're moving forward with a grant to the Sportsmen for Wildlife Conservation. The license plate dollars for the wildlife conservation license plate that you can get. I got one on my truck. Go out and
mine's ordered.
And but it's a great way to give back that way, and we're going to go forward with the grant. We're asking to do about 30 reef balls on Saguaro Lake for the first project through this grant if we're successful in getting it. We're using Saguaro because it's so close to the Mesa office. We're able to work a lot of the kinks out. But really, we can go anywhere in the state. I've had folks at the Parker Strip call and want us to move to that direction of putting these out in Parker. And once we can get to that production phase, which we're getting there, we'll be able to go to any lake we want to. It's just a matter of ordering the concrete and renting the forklifts and moving the habitat and getting the volunteers at that point, which is what we have already. I mean, that's the easy part. The big part is actually getting the molds created right now. Which is
That's one thing I can say about our local angling community and the tournament anglers. You know, most all of them are real good about pitching in and helping out, and you know, fishing December at midweek bass. My hat's off to them. What a miserable lake to fish at that time of year.
You know, some guys did pretty good.
Well, yeah, 5 of them
pretty
did.
good.
You know, there was like another 15 boats that didn't weigh any, or maybe one fish. And it's all good. So, guys, keep an eye on your tournaments. Ask your tournament director for a fishing option for the Chris's Reef Ball projects. And what more can we do for you?
You know, I just think fishing these tournaments is a great way to give back, and with these tournaments stepping up, you know, and to give back to the resource, I think it's a great way to get involved. Get involved with the local groups like Bass Federation and UAAF and other constituent local fishing groups that are out there, and we're working directly with them to give back and do those conservation.
Well, what I'm seeing is AZBFN and AZTBF, UAAF, and even some of the trout guys and the walleye guys. We don't have a renewable resource. We have to take care of this resource.
That's right.
And you know, we have to babysit the fish, but we've got to take care of their habitat before we can have fish. So. Good job. I appreciate it. Hey, I'm Don McDowell. Thanks for checking out our website, and thank you for listening to Shake, Rattle, and Troll.
Well, it's Saturday morning, and the lawn needs mowing. The car needs washing, and the weeds are growing. The honeydew's starting, the dogs are barking, and I got a truck and trailer I should be parking. Well, some like to rock, some like to roll. Me and the boys like to shake, rattle,